I'm Amy from Doodlebug Designs, and today I'm going to show you 3 different ways that I use to make fluffy bunny tails in my punch needle and rug hooking projects. Let's get started! The first way, and by far the easiest way to make fluffy tails on your projects, is to just punch them a little bit deeper on your punch needle. So if you're punching with, say, a depth of 1 or 2, to just go ahead and bring it up higher and punch with a deeper punching depth. And you can see here on this egg that I've punched I actually punched 3 different depths. I punched the egg 1 depth and the bunny slightly deeper, and then the tail the deepest. And then on this bunny I also punched the tail just a little bit deeper, and the same here. Now if you're doing rug hooking, the easiest way to a deeper tail is to do prodi. So I did prodi hooking on the tail of this bunny, and that made a fluffy looking tail. The second way you can add a fluffy bunny tail is by making a pom-pom out of yarn. I've done this for these 2 bunnies and this hooked rug pillow. To make the pom-poms, I usually use this pom-pom making kit. I use this size of pom-pom for this bunny. And if you have the pom-pom kit, it will have instructions with it to show you how to use it. If you don't have the pom-pom makers, you can use a fork for the smaller bunny tails. I actually use a fork for this bunny tail. I wanted it to be smaller than any of the pom-pom makers that I have. And you want to choose a yarn that's proportional to your project. So I would use this thicker yarn if I was making a tail for a hooked rug or a larger project, but I'm going to use this thinner yarn for something that's small like this bunny. So you want to have the yarn and a fork, and for tying it, I like to use a thin crochet yarn. Cut a length of the crochet string 12 to 18 inches long, and then start wrapping the yarn around the fork. The more times you wrap, the fuller the pom-pom will be. I'm going to stop there and cut this yarn, and then use the string and put it in the middle of the fork here, and then draw it up around and then tie a double knot. And then I like to go ahead and take the string to the other side and tie a double knot there too, just to make sure that it holds really well. Then you can slide it off the fork and use your scissors to clip, and then you can just fluff the tail. And the reason that I use this thinner string for tying it together is because I can then thread each one of these pieces individually onto a needle and then sew it onto the bunny and then tie it on the inside. Now if you need a bigger pom-pom for a hooked rug project, you can just cut a piece of cardboard, and you want the cardboard to be the width of the finished pom-pom, and just do the same process where you wrap the yarn around and around the cardboard. And then again, I'm going to use a length of crochet thread, so I can use the crochet thread to sew the tail onto the bunny. And then you have to slide the yarn off of the cardboard and do your tying in the middle. You can just do the same process here and tie it on both sides, and then clip the loops. And then you can fluff up that tail, and again you have these strings to sew it onto the project. The more times you wrap the yarn around the cardboard or the fork, the fluffier the tail will end up being. The third type of fluffy bunny tail I've made is with wool roving. I have one on this bunny here, and the tail of this bunny here hidden in the cabbage is wool roving. And this bunny and this bunny all have wool roving tails. I have not done a wool roving tail on a hooked rug project, but you just need to make the felted wool ball bigger. So I have some wool roving here, and I just pull a little bit out. You don't want to cut wool roving, you just grab it and pull, and it will bring a length of wool fiber out. And obviously the more you get, the bigger your finished tail will be. And if you get it done and you think it needs to be bigger, you can always add more wool to it, and if you want it to be smaller, you can usually keep rolling on it and it will shrink. I've got some hot sudsy water here. I just have hot water and dish soap. I'm going to take the wool roving and roll it into a ball, and then get it wet with the hot water, and then just start gently rolling it. And the hot water and the soap cause the fibers of the wool will stick together. And you just want to keep rolling and keep adding a little bit more pressure. You want to make sure you're rolling around and around and not just back and forth. You don't want the tail to look like a snake. You want a ball. Keep adding it to a little bit of water to it as you need to. And at this point, I could leave it as it is. If I wanted it to be bigger, I could add more wool, or I could keep rolling it and it will keep getting smaller. It's still got some give to it, but I can leave it that size if that's the size that I want. So just set it aside to dry when you have it like you like it, and then after it's dry, you can use a needle and thread to sew it onto the back of the bunny. I hope you liked that video. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you next time. Bye.